Hi, my name is Celie and welcome back to the Little Reader's Corner. Today it's happening. It's finally happening. I know, I understand. It's very late, but you know what? I have a lot of anticipated releases. Anticipated book releases, movie releases are a different video. A lot of anticipated book releases for this year, and I was terrified to film this video, but you know what? We are going to do this. So we are going to keep it short and snappy today because I have probably more than 22 anticipated releases for the first half of the year, and then we're going to do some special shout outs for the latter half of the year, which that video will be coming later once we have more announcements for then. But let's get going without further ado. So a brief little shout out to the January releases, which are already out now. Let's look at our list, and yes, I will be referring to my notes on my tablet because I cannot memorize this entire list of books. Okay, so January we had Echoes and Empires by Morgan Rhodes. So this is about a snarky 17-year-old who must team up with an enigmatic criminal to cure herself of dangerous forbidden magic in this first book of a new fantasy duology. We are intrigued, we are interested, we are captivated. I'm excited. It sounds really good. Next one, we have The Starless Crown by James Rollins. So, an alliance embarks on a dangerous journey to uncover the secrets of the distant past and save their world in this captivating, deeply visionary adventure. A gifted student foretells an apocalypse. Her reward is a sentence of death. Fleeing into the unknown, she is drawn into a team of outcasts. Yes! Thank you and yes. Next, we have a time travel book that was just released. So this is A Spin Me Right Round by David Fales. It is a sharp and funny YA novel that's Back to the Future, but with a twist, as a gay teen travels back to his parents' era to save a closeted classmate's life. So it sounds like it's going to be really heavy and really intense, but probably deeply meaningful as well. Next up, we have One True Loves by Elise Bryant. So this is the second book in the Happy Ever After series, but it is focused on a different main character from the first book. Lenore Bennett has always been a force, a star artist and style icon at her high school. She's a master in the subtle art of not giving a, well, you know what. But now that graduation is here, she's a little less sure. She's heading to NYU in the fall with a scarlet U for undeclared written across her chest. Her parents always remind her that Black kids don't have the luxury of figuring it out as they go. They have to give 110% prepared. But it's a lot of pressure to be her ancestors' wildest dreams while Lenore's not even sure what her dreams are yet. So I think Lenore was in the first book. I think maybe she was the best friend of the main character, I'm not sure, but there is some kind of like connecting thread between the first book and this one. And then next for January we have Love and Other Disasters. This is about the first openly non-binary contestant on America's favorite cooking show who falls for their clumsy competitor in a deliciously romantic comedy debut. Sounds fantastic. Now, moving on to February, we have 2 book releases for February, which, yes, are both already out as well. We have Ophelia After All, which is written by Raquel Marie, who is also on BookTube, which is really exciting. This is about a teen girl who's navigating friendship drama, the end of high school, and discovering her queerness. Ophelia Rojas knows what she likes. Her best friends, Cuban food, rose gardening, and boys. Way too many boys. Her friends and parents make fun of her endless stream of crushes, but Ophelia is a romantic at heart. She couldn't change even if she wanted to. And then, of course, our other February release, which just recently came out, and that is Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. It is the second book in the Crescent City series, and I don't know what's going to happen in this one. I am only 13 pages in. I'm very excited. If you don't know about the first book, it is basically a set fantasy world with romance, with a bunch of different creatures, animals, ongoing mythology, fae, so many things. I don't even know how to explain it, but it is good stuff. Now let's move on to March. If you don't know about the first book, it is basically a set fantasy world with romance, with a bunch of different creatures, animals, ongoing mythology, fae, so many things. I don't even know how to explain it, but it is good stuff. So in March, we have quite a few exciting books. First up, we have The Bone Orchard by Sarah A. Mueller. It's Charm is a witch and she is alone, the last of a line of conquered necromantic workers now confined within the yard of regrown bone trees at Orchard House and the secrets of their marrow. And that's all we need to know. The cover is gorgeous. I'm very excited. It sounds really good. I cannot wait. Next, we have A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy Eileen. For Ning, the only thing worse than losing her mother is knowing that it's her own fault. She was the one who unknowingly brewed the poison tea that killed her, the poison tea that now threatens to also take her sister's Shu. When Ning hears of a competition to find the kingdom's greatest Shengongshi masters of ancient and magical art of tea making, she travels to the imperial city to compete. The winner will receive a favor from the princess, which may be Ning's only chance to save her sister's life. The cover for this one is also absolutely stunning. It sounds so good. Next we have City of Dusk by Tara Sim. I thought I had read a bunch of Tara Sim books, but it just happens to be that I own a bunch of Tara Sim books, so here's going to be yet another one that I need to read. Set in a gorgeous world of bone and shadow magic, of vengeful gods and defiant chosen ones, The City of Dusk is first in a dark epic fantasy trilogy that follows 4 heirs of 4 noble houses, each gifted with a divine power as they form a tenuous alliance to keep their kingdom from descending into a realm-shattering war. The 4 realms are life, death, light, and darkness. All converge on the City of Dusk. For each realm there is a god, and for each god there is an heir. Feeling tingly already. Next we have Messy Roots by Laura Gao. I actually heard about this one from Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe because she just got an arc of it. This is a graphic novel. After spending her early years in Wuhan, China, riding water buffaloes and devouring stinky tofu, Laura emigrates to Texas, where her hometown is as foreign as Mars, at least until 2020 when COVID-19 makes Wuhan a household name. In Messy Roots, Laura illustrates her coming of age as the girl who simply wants to make the basketball team, escape Chinese school, and figure out why girls make her heart flutter. Now, moving on to April, we have quite a few books in April as well. First off, we have The Sea of Tranquility. This is a time travel story, and this is by Emily St. John Mandel. It's a novel of art, time, love, and plague that takes the reader from Vancouver Island in 1912 to a dark colony on the moon 300 years later, unfurling a story of humanity across centuries and space. It's a novel about time travel, metaphysics that precisely captures the reality of our current moment. This one sounds intense and like a lot of everything that I want. Next, we have another graphic novel. This is The Well, and it's written by Jake Wyatt and illustrated by Shu. A fantasy graphic novel about Lizzie, a girl who gets cursed by a wishing well, and her adventure to grant 3 wishes in order to break free. Next up, we have Medusa by Rosie Hewlett. Within the depths of the underworld, the formidable snake-haired Gorgon has finally had enough. Tired of being eternally and unjustly brandished a villain, Medusa has found the courage to face her tragic past and speak out. Determined to expose the centuries of lies surrounding her name, Medusa gives unparalleled insight into her cursed life, from her earliest memories and abandonment at birth, right through to her tragic and untimely death at the hands of the hero Perseus. Through telling her story, Medusa reveals the lost truth behind antiquity's most infamous monster. For any of my fellow Greek mythology myth retelling people, here's another one that I am so excited about. And last for April, we have In a Garden Burning Gold by Rory Power. Twins imbued with incredible magic and near immortality will do anything to keep their family safe, even if it tears the siblings apart. This is the first book in a mythic epic fantasy series. Now we get into May. So first up, we have I Kiss Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. This is a debut YA romantic comedy about chasing down what you want only to find what you need. So Casey McQuiston has written adult books, but this is their first YA book. Chloe Green is so close to winning. After her mom's moved her from SoCal to Alabama for high school, she spent fast 4 years dodging gossipy classmates and a puritanical administration at Willow Grove Christian Academy. The thing that's keeping her going, winning valedictorian. Her only rival is prom queen Shara Wheeler, the principal's perfect progeny. But a month before graduation, Shara kisses Chloe and vanishes. Next up, we have Just Your Local Bisexual Disaster by Andrea Mosquera. This is about Maggie Gonzalez, who needs a date to her sister's quinceañera and fast. Growing up in Texas's Rio Grande Valley, Maggie Gonzalez has always been a little messy, but she's okay with that. After all, she has a great family, a goofy group of friends, a rocky romantic history, and dreams of being a music photographer. Tasked with picking an escort for her little sister's quinceañera, Maggie has to face the truth that the feelings about her friends and her future aren't as simple as she once believed. Next, we have the newest release by Morgan Matson, which is Take Me Home Tonight. 2 girls, 1 night, 0 phones. Kate and Stevie, best friends, theater kids, polar opposites, have snuck away from the suburbs to spend a night in New York City. They have it all planned out. They'll see a play, eat at the city's hottest restaurant, and have the best night ever. What could go wrong? Well, a lot. Oh, Morgan Matson is amazing at just showing a lot of things happening. Just, it's so good, so good. I can't wait. Next we have Melt With You by Jennifer Dugan. This is a sweet and salty queer YA rom-com with 2 girls on a summer road trip in an ice cream truck. Fallon and Chloe used to be best friends, but last summer the girls hooked up right before Chloe left for college, and a series of misunderstandings, they aren't even speaking to one another. Now, a year later, Chloe's back home from school and Fallon is doing everything in her power to avoid her, which is especially difficult because their moms own a business together, a gourmet ice cream truck where both girls work. We've made it to June. First, we have Fake It Till You Bake It by Jamie Wesley. This is a reality star and a cupcake baking football player who pretend to be a couple in order to save his bakery in a sweet and sexy romance. Baked goods, romance. You know I'm there, you know I'm there. Next, we have This Vicious Grace by Emily Theod. There are 3 weddings, 3 funerals. Alessa's gift from the gods is supposed to magnify a partner's magic, not kill every suitor she touches. Now, with only weeks left until a hungry swarm of demons devours everything on her island home, Alessa is running out of time to find a partner and stop the invasion. When a powerful priest convinces the faithful that killing Alessa is the island's only hope, her own soldiers try to assassinate her. Next, we have We All Fall Down by Rose Sabo. This is the first book in a dark fantasy YA duology about the power and danger of stories and untold costs of keeping magic alive. In River City, where magic used to thrive, is now fading. The witches who once ruled the city along with their powerful king have become all but obsolete. The city's crumbling government is now controlled primarily by the new university and teaching hospital, which has grown to take over half the city. Next, we have Blood and Moonlight by Erin Beatty. Now, in this fantasy mystery thriller, an orphan with a secret, magical sight, gets caught between a mysterious genius and a serial killer he's hunting. Rising above the city of Collis is the Holy Sanctum, and watching over its spires is Katrine, an orphan girl with unique skills, for she alone can spot the building's flaws in construction before they turn deadly. Intrigued. I have no idea what will be going on in there, but highly intrigued. And now we are moving into July, which is kind of technically the latter half of the year, so we're just going to do some brief little shout outs to some exciting books that will be coming up later in the year. So for July, there's Blackwater, a debut queer YA graphic novel. It is set in a haunted town of Blackwater, Maine, where 2 boys fall for each other as they dig up for clues for a paranormal mystery. Then we have Society for Soulless Girls. This is a dark academia sapphic retelling of Jekyll and Hyde. You don't need more information. Like, you truly don't need to know anymore. In August, we have Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is a thematic response to The Secret History and a tonal response to Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. It grapples with student revolutions, colonial resistance, and the use of translation as a tool of empire. Yes, take me there now. Then we have Kero Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is coming out August 30th. Very exciting. Then in October, we have Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove by Matt Mehrotra. And this is about a kingdom, a forbidden soul bond, a royal family, assassinations, a monastic school, all of the above. We don't yet have a release date, but it should be coming out in 2022, which is Madam Secretary by Stephanie Draw. It is based on the true story of Frances Perkins, America's first female cabinet secretary. Yes. And then lastly, in November, we have Himawari House. This is a young adult graphic novel about 3 foreign exchange students and the pleasures and difficulties of adjusting to life in Japan. And with that, those are all of my most anticipated releases for the year. There are certainly going to be others. There are certainly going to be more. I am sure that there are so many amazing books that I completely missed and didn't have my sights on, especially because this video is about 2 months late, but we don't need to worry about it because they are still my anticipated releases. So please tell me if you are excited about any of these books that I mentioned. If there is a book that I didn't mention that you are particularly excited about, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. And make sure to like and definitely subscribe if you've made it this far in the video, and I will see you in the next one. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye!